Welcome everyone to another exciting deep dive into the fascinating world of rare coins where history, errors, minting mistakes, and collector demand collide to create stories of unimaginable value. And today we will be focusing on the 1989 D Roosevelt dime that has gained mythical status in the coin collecting universe because of its extraordinary rarity, its unusual errors, and the astronomical price tag of $2 million that it has commanded in certain circles. And while at first glance many people would simply dismiss a dime from 1989 struck at the Denver Mint as just another common coin that we all might overlook in pocket change, the truth is that certain examples of this coin contain mistakes so rare, so significant, and so fascinating that they catapult what would otherwise be worth 10 cents into the category of ultra-valuable treasures that rival some of the greatest numismatic finds in American history. And in order to truly understand why this coin has become so valuable, we need to break down the many layers of error possibilities, production anomalies, historical circumstances of the U.S. Mint in the late 1980s, and the obsession among collectors to own something that virtually nobody else on Earth has, because rarity combined with condition and error type is the perfect formula for big money in the coin market. So let's start by setting the stage for 1989 itself, a year when the Denver Mint was producing hundreds of millions of Roosevelt dimes for circulation, all designed with the familiar portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse and the torch, olive branch, and oak branch design on the reverse, which symbolized liberty, peace, and strength. And while most of those coins were struck without issue and distributed into the channels of commerce, a very tiny number were affected by catastrophic minting errors that escaped detection and quality control. And these are the coins that collectors hunt for, sometimes spending entire lifetimes without ever holding one, yet when found they instantly become legends worth millions. And for the 1989 D dime there are multiple types of errors reported by experts and auction records that contribute to its fame. Starting with off-center strikes, which can sometimes result in coins being misaligned so drastically that a portion of the design is missing while still leaving visible identifying marks such as the mint mark and date, making them highly desirable. But in the case of the 1989 D dime, some extreme off-center strikes were paired with double die errors where the die itself shifted during hubbing, producing noticeable doubling on Roosevelt's profile, especially around the eyes, mouth, and the inscriptions like Liberty and In God We Trust, which creates a dramatic visual difference that trained collectors can spot instantly. And when two errors occur together, the rarity skyrockets because it is already uncommon to see one significant mistake and practically unheard of to see multiple stacked on the same coin. And then there are reports of planchet errors where the dime was struck on the wrong metal blank, for instance a transitional or experimental planchet that slipped into production either by accident or through a flaw in the sorting system at the mint. And if a 1989 D dime was struck on a copper planchet intended for cents, or even on a foreign coin blank, the composition itself would make the coin extraordinary, because weight, density, and even color would be noticeably off, giving sharp-eyed collectors a chance to identify it. And such off-metal strikes are some of the rarest and most valuable in all of numismatics, with prices often reaching hundreds of thousands or even millions depending on the combination of date, mint mark, and error severity. And the Denver Mint had its share of mishaps throughout history, so the possibility of such a coin existing is entirely plausible, which is why authenticated examples draw such fierce bidding wars when they appear at auction. And let us not forget the possibility of no mint mark errors where coins that should bear the small d for Denver are missing it entirely due to a filled die or striking problem, creating a distinct variety that collectors chase heavily, especially when combined with a sharp strike and full details. And in the case of the 1989 dime, such mint mark anomalies have been documented and can drastically affect price because they represent a 1 in a million production accident that was never meant to leave the mint. And beyond mint mark issues, there are also broad strike errors where the collar die fails to hold the coin in place during striking, causing the design to spread outwards, giving the coin a wider, flatter appearance. And if this occurs without obliterating the date or mint mark, then the coin instantly becomes a curiosity worth far more than face value. And some 1989 D dimes have shown remarkable broad strike characteristics combined with die cracks and cuds, which are raised blobs of metal resulting from broken or deteriorated dies, and such visual anomalies make each coin unique like a fingerprint, ensuring no two are exactly alike and further fueling collector desire. And it is this combination of multiple error possibilities, double dies, off-center strikes, wrong planchet strikes, missing mint marks, broad strikes, die cracks, and cuts, that has led to the 1989 D dime being vaulted into numismatic legend as one of the few modern dimes capable of commanding multi-million-dollar valuations. And when you consider that most people alive today may have handled a dime from 1989 without ever looking closely at it, the notion that one small overlooked coin could secretly be worth more than a mansion, more than luxury cars, and even more than some historical gold coins is simply mind-blowing. And this is exactly why coin collecting remains one of the most addictive and fascinating hobbies, because the thrill of the hunt is always there in your pocket change, and the idea that a simple act of paying attention could transform your financial future is endlessly appealing. And when a coin like the 1989 D dime is verified by top grading services such as PCGS or NGC with error attribution and preserved in mint state or near perfect condition, the rarity multiplier goes even higher. Because condition and eye appeal matter tremendously to collectors, and those who specialize in Roosevelt dimes know just how hard it is to find such errors in pristine condition, since most circulated through commerce before being spotted, which makes high-grade examples nearly priceless, and the market reflects this scarcity with eye-popping prices, such as the documented $2 million valuation that has been recorded for one of these extreme error specimens, and this story continues to inspire collectors worldwide to inspect their coins carefully, to learn the diagnostics of errors, and to never assume that a coin is worthless just because it is modern, because sometimes the most ordinary-seeming coin hides extraordinary secrets. And so the tale of the 1989 D dime valued at $2 million is not just a story about money, but about history, luck, perseverance, knowledge, and the excitement of discovery. And as you listen and reflect on this story, remember that the next valuable coin could be sitting unnoticed in your change jar, your wallet, or your piggy bank, waiting for you to recognize its significance. Because numismatic treasures do not always come in the form of ancient gold or silver, sometimes they come in the form of a humble little dime from 1989 struck in Denver that, due to a twist of fate and minting mistakes, became one of the most talked about modern rarities in the world of coin collecting, and that is why today it continues to inspire awe, fetch astronomical prices, and remind all of us that hidden value is often found where we least expect it. And now, having taken you on this long journey through the details, errors, and possibilities of the 1989 D Roosevelt dime worth $2 million, the story remains open-ended because who knows how many more examples are out there undiscovered, quietly waiting to be pulled from circulation or hiding in an old collection, ready to change the life of whoever finds it next. And now let us continue this incredible journey into the world of valuable dimes by turning our attention to another remarkable modern rarity, the 2000 D Roosevelt dime, a coin that on the surface seems as ordinary as any other piece of pocket change minted at the Denver facility at the turn of the new millennium. Yet in reality certain error examples of this date have been valued at up to $1 million, a staggering figure for a 10-cent coin, and once again it is the presence of rare minting mistakes, combined with the demand from passionate collectors, that elevates this otherwise common coin into the realm of legendary numismatic treasures, because the Denver Mint in 2000 was operating at full capacity, producing billions of coins to fuel the expanding U.S. economy, and while quality control had advanced considerably by that time, no mint is immune from flaws. And some of those flaws escaped detection, creating errors that are today highly sought after, and the 2000 D dime is no exception, with reports of double die obverse errors where inscriptions like Liberty and In God We Trust appear to have a ghostly doubling effect, creating a dramatic and highly visible variety that immediately stands out to experienced collectors. And this doubling is especially significant in the year 2000 because it represents a modern proof of how even the most advanced minting technology is still subject to human error and mechanical imperfection. And then there are off-center strikes where the design of Roosevelt's face or the torch, oak branch, and olive branch reverse is partially missing, sometimes up to 70% off center, yet still showing the all-important date and mint mark, making such coins both visually fascinating and numismatically rare. And in the case of the 2000 D dime, some of these off-center strikes are paired with broad strike characteristics, where the coin appears stretched and flattened due to a collar malfunction, giving it an alien-like appearance that captivates collectors. And beyond these, wrong planchet errors have also been attributed to 2000 D dimes, where the coin was accidentally struck on a planchet intended for another denomination such as a cent, a nickel, or even a foreign coin blank, and these off-metal strikes are considered the holy grail for modern dime errors because they reveal a rare breach of the mint's production protocols, resulting in coins that weigh differently, sound differently when dropped, and even have a distinctly different color or metallic sheen. And when authenticated, these are instantly worth tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars, and when preserved in uncirculated condition they have commanded values up to 1 million. And then there is the fascinating possibility of missing clad layer errors, because Roosevelt dimes since 1965 have been made of a copper core with nickel cladding. And sometimes one side of the clad layer fails to bond correctly, leaving one side of the coin copper-colored and the other the usual silvery nickel tone. And collectors absolutely love this type of error because it creates a dramatic two-tone effect that can be recognized even by those with little numismatic experience. And in the year 2000, examples of these missing clad layer dimes with the Denver Mint mark have been documented and certified, instantly making them worth exponentially more than face value. And then there are die break errors and cuds, where the die itself cracks or breaks away, causing raised metal blobs to appear on the coin's surface. And in some 2000 D dimes, these cracks traverse Roosevelt's profile or cut into the lettering on the reverse, making each coin unique and one of a kind. And when rarity and uniqueness are combined, the price naturally skyrockets. And in addition to these mechanical errors, there are mint mark anomalies as well, such as weak or partially missing D mint marks due to filled dies, which though subtle can create a distinct variety when paired with other errors. And because these anomalies are from the Denver Mint's high-volume production environment, their survival in pristine mint state condition is exceedingly rare, and grading services like PCGS or NGC assign special error attributions when such coins are submitted, placing them in protective holders that assure authenticity, and once slabbed, they become highly liquid assets in the coin market, attracting attention from investors and collectors alike. And this is why certain 2000 D Roosevelt dimes have been valued at up to $1 million, because they embody the perfect storm of rarity, condition, visual appeal, and collector demand. And this is not just about owning a coin, it is about owning a piece of minting history, a mistake frozen in time at the dawn of the 21st century when the Denver Mint was supposed to be operating with precision and perfection, yet still produced a handful of coins that slipped past quality control and went on to become treasures for those lucky enough to discover them. And the lesson here for everyone listening is that even in modern coinage where billions of pieces are struck each year, there can still exist life-changing rarities. And just like with the 1989 D dime, the 2000 D dime proves that you should never overlook small change, because a dime worth $1 million could be hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by an observant collector. And this is exactly what makes coin collecting so endlessly fascinating, because the potential for discovery is always alive, whether the coin is 100 years old or just a couple of decades. And so the story of the 2000 D dime valued at $1 million is one of serendipity, minting anomalies, and the enduring human fascination with rarity and value. And it continues to inspire coin hunters everywhere to look closer at the coins they carry every day, because history and fortune can sometimes be found in the smallest of places.